It's Friday, September 16th, 2022, and here's this week's balcony garden update. Can you believe it's the middle of September and it's still like summer out here? It's a nice, warm day. Unbelievable that we still have such a great growing season this year. The longer the gardening season goes, the better. Oh, it might seem that I keep showing the same onions all the time. Well, believe it or not, there's always less every week as I keep using them, but they are still growing. They are an absolute success. Oh, here we have the hot pepper plant. Another one starting over here. These are pretty good. You probably also noticed in this planter there's something else growing here. Must have got tomato seed there or something because it looks like a tomato plant. I'm going to transfer that and bring it indoors for the winter because it's a perfectly good tomato plant, so I'll do my best to keep it alive through the winter. Here's the mild pepper plant, also known as the Hungarian pepper plant. You can see it's just a bunch of leaves right now. Oh, if you look closely, looks like there's a bud there. The bud could mean another pepper. A closer look there. So, hopefully we'll get even more production out of this plant this year. This has already been a good success. I don't have anybody wondering why I'm still showing the lemon plant. Well, why not? It keeps growing, so keep showing it. And what's also amazing is the middle of September and we've got a run of strawberries again. These things just want to keep showing up. So, great. September strawberries. Here, what I'm going to refer to this time as the prized pepper plant. Because this one did not. Oh, look at that. Some animals chewing on that pepper there, it seems like. There's more peppers, you see. One over there. It's a nice healthy one. All kinds of budding. A flower there. Try and get a look up here. Pepper there. Another one up here. A whole bunch of budding. Well, this is just an amazing plant. It's just too bad the summer's winding down because this is a really, really successful plant. I think if it would just keep growing, it's just going to keep producing peppers. I think I'm going to try and bring this one indoors for the winter. Now we're going to look at tomato plants. So these were the flat tomato plants. I'll zoom out so you can see there. And you got clovers and things growing here now. We've got tomatoes on this plant. It's just an overall weird plant. It's still growing tomatoes, so who knows? Look at this one over here, same thing. We've got tomatoes on it. I want to point out these two tomato plants here. These were the late ones that I planted. I said, hey, we've got plants and we've got extra space. I'm like, okay, well, I'll plant these and see what happens. And as you can see, there's lots of green tomatoes on them. So I've actually got some good late production on this plant. You can see how tall this plant has got. So I'm going up here. You can see near the top, got flowering tomatoes. Let's see, zoom in a little bit there, you can see. Okay, and there's the top of the fence. So you can see that plant has gotten pretty tall. And the plant beside it is very, very similar. It's It's not as tall, but it does have some good production. These tomatoes down below look a little big for cherry tomatoes. And have a close look at these. You see the damage on these ones? That's animals nibbling away on them. And the animals are hungry too, so you can't blame them for being hungry, I guess. Well, speaking of late tomato trees, here's one that just came out of nowhere. That was late. You can see it's got flowers on it. It does have some budding. We might actually still get some tomatoes out of this one after all. And then there's the other one here on this side. Same thing. Kind of funny looking tomato plant, but it also has flowers on it. So you see the buds. So I might also get tomatoes out of this one. As you probably already realized, I always go to my orange cherry tomato plant last. You're probably thinking, hey, those are all green. Yeah, well, most of them are green. But we do have some orange. There we go. Some more here, this cluster. And there we go. Gonna move up here this way. You can see how they're growing. So there are lots of tomatoes on this plant. Hopefully they'll change color soon. So if you remember last week, I said I was going to try and do a daily update of the tomatoes that I brought inside. Compare the orange ones to the ones that are green and see how they change color indoors to show you that you can pick them green. You don't have to if you don't need to, but if animals are eating your plants and you want to bring some inside, or at the end of the season before the first sight of frost, you will need to pick them green. Otherwise, they'll die along with the plant if it's left outside. So if you do bring them inside, you can see that they will change color and ripen, and they will be good to eat. So let's take a look at how that played out this week. I just added a fully orange one, so you can see what it looks like compared to the other ones. So as you can see by the daily updates, the changes in the colors of the tomatoes, and that was also indeed a success. So that's all for this week. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week.